What if the lack you face isn't a punishment, but a sign that you've been chosen? Many of God's greatest vessels went through seasons of scarcity, not because God abandoned them, but because He was shaping their hearts. If you've been struggling financially and still feel God's calling, this message is for you. Reason 1: provision follows purpose, never the other way around. The chosen don't chase money, they chase mission. Look at Abraham, who stepped into the unknown with nothing but faith. Look at Jesus, the Son of God, who had nowhere to lay his head. Not because he lacked power, but because he was on assignment. Before provision comes, God purifies. He allows days when the bills don't line up, just to see if your heart still does. Training doesn't happen in abundance, but in the wilderness. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. God is preparing you to carry wealth without being corrupted by it. Reason 2: the enemy attacks what God anoints. The devil is not omnipresent, so he chooses his targets carefully, and the chosen ones are at the top of the list. If he can't kill your destiny, he'll try to drain your drive. One of his favorite weapons is financial pressure, unexpected bills, missed opportunities. Always just enough to survive, but never enough to build. Why? Because the devil knows that once a chosen one is resourced, they become unstoppable. The enemy doesn't fear your dreams, he fears your delivery. That's why you've been under attack. Your financial breakthrough isn't just about you, it's about everyone you're called to bless. Reason 3: isolation breeds internal struggle. The chosen often live in contradiction. You feel called to lead, but no one seems to follow. You sense anointing, but your reality shows lack. And the hardest part, you go through it alone. Look at Joseph. God gave him dreams of royalty, but before the crown came the pit, betrayal, and prison. He was isolated not because he was forgotten, but because he was being protected. Chosen ones often feel disconnected from friends, misunderstood by family, and overlooked by the world. But that silence isn't abandonment, it's strategy. God separates you to shape you. In the quiet, He refines your motives. In the silence, He trains your ears to hear only His voice. Reason 4: God uses financial pressure to destroy pride. If you're chosen, God isn't just building your platform, He's breaking your ego. Financial struggle humbles us quickly. It forces us to ask for help, makes us pray with desperation, and teaches us to depend on Him, not just our hustle. Remember the Israelites? Before entering the promised land, they wandered for 40 years, sustained only by manna from heaven. Why? To learn that their source was God, not Egypt, not gold, not even their own hands. In the same way, God allows you to run dry, just so you learn where true provision really comes from. Reason 5: your wealth has a mission. If you're chosen, the money God places in your hands isn't just for comfort, but for kingdom movement. Joseph went through the pit, slavery, and prison before being elevated to governor of Egypt, not to show off, but to save nations from famine. Esther was placed in the palace not for luxury, but to deliver her people. Even Solomon, with all his wealth, used it to build the temple. The enemy knows this. If you ever step into abundance, you won't just live well. You'll give generously, plant churches, fund missions, restore families, and break curses. That's why the resistance against your finances has been so relentless. Reason 6: God starves the flesh to feed the spirit. Many times, financial struggle isn't an attack, but a fast you didn't choose yet desperately needed. Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, where He fasted for 40 days. His body was weak, but His spirit was being strengthened for the mission. God allows lack on the outside to produce growth on the inside, because if abundance comes too early, the flesh might hijack the calling. In the wilderness, you learn to depend, to listen, to obey when it's hard, and to worship when it hurts. So if you've been wondering why money is tight, why doors won't open, why the blessing feels delayed, maybe it's not a curse but confirmation, proof that you are chosen. The only question now is, will you break or will you break through? If this message spoke to your heart, write in the comments, "I'm chosen." This is more than words. It's a declaration of faith. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth today.